Hello, welcome to Cinema Regulars. We're pretty on edge right now. We're angry and upset because we've just recorded the entire podcast only to look and see that our audio had disconnected in a minute into the podcast. So we just lost an hour and a half of footage, which we will have to make up. So, you know. Anyways, today we are looking at The Wild Robot, which we have Taylor and Merrick to join us for that. Hi, guys. Thank you for coming.
Hey.
Then we will be moving on to Transformers 1 with just Merrick. And me and Isaac, of course, not just Merrick. And then we will move into Speak No Evil. And we'll finish off with Am I Racist? Now, again, if we start off this a little down in the dumps, you'll have to forgive us. We just lost an hour and a half of footage, and that we'll have to make up later. But we will truck on and try our best to get back into the groove as we move into our first movie, Wild Robot. Isaac, will you please take us away with the description?
Absolutely. Shipwrecked on a deserted island, a robot named Roz must learn to adapt to its new surroundings. Building relationships with the native animals, Roz soon develops a parental bond with an orphaned Gosling.
Ryan Gosling?
I don't know. Maybe. Could have been. Is this American Idol? Oh, wait, no, that's Ryan Seacrest. Wrong, Ryan. Well, they were on the sea, and there were some cresting waves, so it could have been him too.
Shut up! You're not making this easier.
So, first off,
All right.
off the bat, this movie is fucking gorgeous.
Yep. It really is. I've been throwing around this term, the DreamWorks Renaissance, of how they've shifted over to this new art style. Because everyone knows the Disney art style, the Pixar art style, the this and that. But I think DreamWorks has really hit their stride with this because, like, the bad guys, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, especially, Kung Fu Panda, they did it a little bit, just a slight adjustment, but they still wanted to keep the same art style as the first ones. But especially this paintbrushed art style. It's really, really pretty, and it's really, really good. I love it to death.
Not only
It's on point. They can't do enough with it.
No.
If every single DreamWorks movie was done in this art style from now to the end of time, it still wouldn't be enough.
No.
I think it's a brilliant choice.
What's even better is this movie also accentuates another part of the Renaissance as well, is that the comedy is evolving back. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to say evolving because they're getting back to
Evolving backwards.
Yeah, they're falling back on stuff they know worked,
just backwards,
like Shrek and like the adult type jokes that were in Shrek and things like that. Like,
yeah, they not like absurdly like adult jokes, but like jokes for
Not
the parents
like-
to enjoy.
Yeah.
Not like when Farquaad looks under the blanket, but like,
Well, I mean, kind of like that. Because kids are like, kids are
I
not
guess
even gonna
that's
like
true.
second guess that,
Touch
but like
it.
the
kids.
adults
Yeah.
are just like, oh, yeah, we know what that is.
6 kids.
But in a day.
In a day.
But like jokes like that, where it's really where the humor's like, well, you wouldn't really find that in a kids movie, because like Isaac mentioned just now, there's an opossum with seven kids, and then there's like a hawk screech, and then a scream of terror off screen, and then she turns back and says 6 kids.
Yeah,
like that one just died.
Like we were just saying, there's like,
and then continued on with the convo, like. Your kid died, and you're just like, c'est la vie, you know?
No, it was, the comedy was on point and everything. But before we get even too far, I actually wanted to twitch this. Taylor, you saw this like opening weekend, like opening day almost,
I
right?
did. I saw it opening day.
But what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the movie?
How was
Um,
that?
oh boy, guys, the last time I cried this hard at a movie was A Dog's Purpose. And let me tell you that I could not stop crying. And I was crying for multiple reasons. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm heart, but like at A Dog's Purpose, the dogs died, so of course I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry.
That
But
movie
like
is
this
nothing
type of
but dogs dying. That's kind of the whole point of the
it,
movie.
I don't even know why I watched it. It was just like torture the whole movie. But whatever. This was like I cried because it was beautiful. I cried because there was so much
Yes.
emotion packed into each scene and each character monologue. Like even and they even gave like the quote unquote like side characters, even though they weren't side
Like,
characters, but they gave Fink the
Oh, thank.
fox.
yeah.
This he was like, who am I going to talk to when you're gone? And like I'm tearing up now, like
Yeah, it's
it
very
hit
good.
so hard, and it it didn't just touch me and my friend. We sat there and I was sobbing, and she was like, "Do you need to step out?" I was like, "No, I don't want to miss a minute of it."
Step out of
But
the wild robot.
I was crying really hard, and then but there was also a whole row of kids, probably like average age, mean age, like 7,
Yeah.
maybe 8,
Yeah.
and they were with their parents. And during one of the scenes, one of the kids was just sobbing, like wailing. And he was like, Mom, Mom. Like he didn't understand why he was crying so much, but he was crying. And that made me
Yeah.
cry. And I was like, if it can touch someone who is that young, like it's just a powerful, powerful
Oh,
movie.
absolutely.
Are you sure he wasn't? Are you sure he wasn't crying at that bit where that crow got beheaded on screen?
Oh no.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
Yeah, the
Crazy.
robot
No,
it like fucking flies into her hand, and she's just like,
Yeah.
"You need help?" He's like, "He's fucking dead, dude."
I think it was during the migration scene when when Bright Bill left.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure
That
is when it
it
happened.
was
But
just this movie was done very, very well because it's the whole purpose point of the movie is that it's like there are so many levels to what this movie is actually about, which is basically just being a parent. Like not just being a
yeah,
mom. Like obviously they focus on it because the robot, it's a mom, like it's a woman. Well, I mean it's a robot, but it's a woman.
a woman
It's a
robot
woman robot.
it's
with
a
a
female
vagina.
robot.
Yeah. But but it's also about just like being a new parent. Like you like the possum says, like it's just like she's like, I don't have the programming for this. And she's like, no one does. You don't like you have your instincts and you work it out by feel. And that's basically how
Yeah.
parenting works. But it's
I get the feeling my sister will like this movie because she just had a
yeah.
baby that
Oh
she
I
my
would
married,
love to
so
hear.
god.
she.
I would love to hear her thoughts on
Oh,
this movie, actually. But it's
Yeah, me
it's
too.
it's all it's all that. There's also just like the bond that a child can have with their parent. Like, and
oh my
not
god.
only
When
their actual
he calls her
yeah.
mom the first time, I think about that
I
now and
cried.
like I just
Yeah, Taylor, I hate
oh
you.
god, it's
Taylor,
so
I hate you. You fucking
why? What did
you
I
fucking
do?
called it like in the chat like after you watched the movie before we had seen it and you were like you guys are probably gonna cry. Isaac definitely. And I was like whatever, guffaw. And like I find myself crying and I'm like god damn it, Taylor.
I knew it.
Ugh. I don't want to brag or anything, but I didn't cry at the Wild Robot. Ugh.
It just means you're emotionally
I cry at
stunted.
manly
Something
stuff. I
to
cry
brag
like
about.
I cry at manly stuff like Iron Claw.
But no, it's that because it's not only about parents. It's about like it's also a found family movie as well. It's not just being a parent. It's like the fact that you can also have family that isn't your own. Like, I'm a huge sucker for that. I'm a big believer in found family. I really am. Like, I think it's you can form a bond with people, like the way that people can form like a bond with each other, even though there is no blood relation between them. Like, this movie is about a fox, a robot, and a goose that are all a family. Like, that's what this is about. And
Well, the
I-
whole
I have a-
forest comes together as a family.
Yeah.
I mean, they live under the
Well,
same
that's the-
roof through the whole winter.
that's the other thing that's really cool, is that this whole island, they agree to set aside all their differences and stuff to be able to survive and everything. It was just a good movie, because like it's talking about how like there's a thing where it's so there's a line in something way out of left field, surprisingly, Supernatural of all things, where there's a spell that requires patricide. It just and like it the dude
Not worth
says
it to be
the dude says you need the blood of the father, but the father needn't be blood. And
Yeah.
that's what it that like that kind of sentiment of just like family can run outside of blood. You don't need to be connected. Like the phrase "blood is thicker than water." I don't believe in that phrase at all, honestly. Like, I get it to a point,
It's
but
physically thicker, but
well, yes, but you know what the sentiment behind that scene is, behind that saying is that like just because you're family, like you can find family with people that aren't blood related to you and be more emotionally connected to them than your actual family. And it's such a powerful thing in this movie. It really is. Like, it's something that DreamWorks actually does very, very well.
yeah. I was surprised at like the quality of storytelling in this. Like, DreamWorks, a lot of people will still see them as the joke of a company who made Shrek and Kung Fu Panda and fart jokes.
Those
and
movies are still
inappropriate
fucking classics for a reason.
Right, but well, they won't give them the proper dues. But
No.
honestly, I feel like given Disney's fucking flops in the past few years, given Pixar's flops, given Illumination's flops outside of Migration, given Blue Sky doesn't fucking exist anymore, I feel like if they keep rolling like this, DreamWorks could dominate the animated movie industry.
It will.
I think they should.
I mean, they currently are in quality right now.
They are, absolutely.
and money. No one's realizing it, but like the last few Disney movies, that's why they're making Moana 2 right now, is because that was the last good one that came out.
Literally every single
last
movie
few-
that they announced at the Disney fucking Expo thing was all sequels. They need to make money back. That's why they're making them.
Right. It's because they need to do safe bets, because everything that they're doing right now is fucking failing.
Yeah, the Wild Robot, the box office is currently at $100 million.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's insane.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
And I want to preface this. I mean this in the least furry way possible.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
God.
I want you all to recognize that in the least possible furry way.
Here we go, Kellen.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I like the fox's design.
Oh, okay.
I think whoever was in charge of designing Fink did a hell of a job.
That's
That is-
true.
that is
That
very
is very
true.
true.
His face, while looking like super animalistic and not like not human in any way, is so capable of expression. I like his giant fucking tail. It's super funny how big it is, but it's also
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's also really cute for his fucking character because
It
he's like
is.
mean and nasty, but I don't know.
Yeah, can
they
we-
fucking nailed the fox. They nailed all
Can
the
we just
animals, to
talk?
be honest.
I was just about to
Phrasing.
say, can we just talk about the fact that I wanted to just
Shut up.
squeeze every
You know what?
animal?
I will come back to that. I
What?
need to insult Isaac very quick. Isaac, I wasn't gonna say it, but I have a joke that I'm going to wait until the end of the podcast to tell you that will ruin this movie for everyone forever, and you just earned it. I was gonna tell wasn't gonna say it, but now I am, just because of you. Thank you.
Okay.
Taylor, I leaned over to Merrick as
Oh,
soon
boy.
as the fucking gosling hatched out of the egg. And I'm like, how bad does Taylor want to bite that?
1000%.
Taylor has a penchant for wanting to bite birds, and it's weird.
Tension.
Viewers and listeners, back me up. It's a real thing. It's called cuteness aggression, aka squeeze disease. It's real, and I took it out on the poor armrests at the movie
Well, yeah,
theater.
like wanted
I
to
was
hug
dying.
something so strong, I get, but like you
Yeah.
want to like squeeze it in between your teeth, and
Like,
you want to.
He was
You were
so and then oh my gosh,
You were
and then
at
the
our baby
possum
cousin's-
babies.
You were at
Oh.
our little cousin's birthday party at that building for kids, and they had little parakeets in there, and you were just like, "I want to eat them," and I'm like, "What?" And then
They were
and then the
really
little duck,
squishy
the
looking.
little duck from Migration, you wanted to bite
Oh,
that too.
Gwen.
And we have a running
Oh,
joke.
she's so like your teeth would like a peep. Like
Like
she's
a
just
peep,
so,
like a marshmallow peep.
yes.
You're crazy. We have a joke because there's that trailer for the Nosferatu movie that's coming out at the end, and there's some like maniac in a room petting a little parakeet, and he goes, and he fucking bites into the bird's neck, and there's a crunch, and I'm like, that's Taylor. He's got a little parakeet. He just chomps into it right in the trailer. Like that's
But you can't tell me that those animals like I just wanted to just like I couldn't like I would just I can't even put it into words.
Oh,
they're so cute.
I have never felt the urge to bite a bird that has not been inside a deep fryer or oven first.
But it's like a love bite. Whatever. Anyways.
I just want to kill it with love.
And teeth.
That's called cuteness aggression.
And teeth.
And teeth. But anyway,
But they were so cute and so well done.
Yeah.
And also, could I just say the children voice actors for the baby possums were really good.
Just gonna bring them up. I really like the baby possums, and which is surprising because for me, a trope I really hate in movies, especially kids movies, is the cute little thing being dark and edgy and depressing.
Yes.
Like the little star, like the star in the cage in the Mario movie, who's all like
Oh,
nihilism
yeah.
and death. I hated that thing.
The rabbits
And
from
in
Kung Fu Panda 4.
the rabbits from Kung Fu Panda 4, and they're like, yay,
Ew.
violence. But like these things who were always so dramatic with their fake possum deaths, and like, I died by poison. I had internal hemorrhaging. And like
they were good, and that's what made them enjoyable was the voicing and their comedic timing and their inflection was so good.
Yeah, it felt like a strained out mom with 7 kids in real life.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
6 kids.
It's also
6
really cool because
No,
In a day?
no, I thought that one lived. Didn't
It did.
he crawl
It did.
back?
It did.
Yeah,
crawled
he
back.
lived.
yeah,
It would have been
lived.
really
He
funny
lived.
if he fucking died.
If
for
he
real.
actually was fucking dead, that would have been fucking hilarious. But like,
Yeah.
it's very nice to have like actual children because I just looked it up. They did have actual children voicing them. That was
Yeah.
very well
Oh,
done.
you could tell.
Which was very good.
Yeah.
It's always good. It's
But-
always good.
But
That's one of the most positive things I think about like shows and movies when they actually have like children voice
Yeah.
actors and it sounds like passable.
yeah.
Like when they have Merrick, when they have real kid voice actors in like Pokemon, it's like really bad.
Yeah.
But then like Bluey has real
Yeah.
kids voicing the kids
Yeah.
and it works so well
It does.
because they sound like real kids. And in the Wild Robot they sound like real kids.
Yeah.
Because they are real kids.
But the progression of this movie is very interesting. So she's a robot. The robot that she is it's like a it's like a service robot. It's like a thing, like something to make life easier around the house. Like you give it a task and it completes it. But when she comes
Yeah.
online, she doesn't. There's no humans to give her a task. So it's like someone who's just wandering around. Like she's just wandering around. Like, hey, do you need help? Do you have something for me to do? And is just like kind of wandering around. And eventually, like once she learns the language of the animals and everything, like she starts getting tasks from them. And in an accident, she ends up killing the baby gosling's parents, like everyone else in that. And so, goslings being that they imprint to the first thing they see, whatever, like she is given the task by the possum, like, you're the mother now. Your task is to take care of it. And that causes an interesting, like, the series of events that follow that are so nice. Because it starts off with, she's given 3 objectives. She's given the 3 objectives of needs to eat, needs to swim, needs to fly. I need to teach it how to do those things. But as it goes on, like, they even have a moment where it finds, like, parts of another robot and pieces them together. And it tells it, like, you're rewriting your own code. Like, how are you doing that? It's like, it's the only way I can do it. Like, the fact that it is overwriting everything. And, like, the progression of the damage and the way that is handled. She loses a foot. And so, like, her leg grows to the length to act as a foot. But then the beaver gives her, like, a fake one, like a wooden one to use.
Like a prosthetic.
So it goes back to there. And, like, after, like, you can really get a feel of the seasons changing and how long it goes. Because, like, she goes to sleep for the winter. Like, she has to hibernate over the winter because she doesn't have her, like, fuel source is busted.
The solar power.
Yeah, so, like, she has to wait until the winter's over. And, like, when she wakes up, she's covered in moss and, like, all this stuff. And it's so good. So good.
Yeah. Eric. Come on, man.
What?
It's happening again, dude.
That's not me then.
Dude. It's
Yes,
not.
it is.
It's not me.
Okay, it's better now. It's not doing it anymore. But anyway, the movie just the plot progresses extremely well.
Yeah.
Like, I was crying my eyes out by the end of this movie because of all the scenes that were happening. And it's almost indescribable how powerful this movie is. You almost need to watch it yourself.
I
would say one. Oh, go ahead.
I want to point something out here. Does anyone remember what the robot company was called before I get into this?
Universal Dynamics.
Universal Dynamics. Worst company on the planet, I think. Please tell me, what kind of high technology robotics company is not once, but twice completely and immediately thrown into utter chaos by a single flock of geese? They stumble into first. I don't even recall how they got in there in the first place. They stumble into
Oh,
their agriculture center, and they completely lose their fucking minds.
they sent out robots
They-
to
they-
just fucking kill
they-
them.
They first of all, they completely lose all control of all the robots in there because they just start tearing through everything to try and like capture the geese. And then they fucking have the audacity and like the room temperature
Oh.
IQ to deploy the fucking collateral damage 9,000.
all the normal robots.
blasting holes in all the glass and everything else.
All the normal robots saw the freaking the geese in there and were like foreign contaminant, and then just were just like.
And then they deploy the big one with the fucking
Yeah.
laser gun, and he just starts like blowing random shit up left and right. And I'm like, what fucking protocol is this?
Like, also the fact I liked the fact that there was also minimal humans in the movie. We saw humans.
Yeah,
They had very like no.
twice from the back.
They had like no dialogue. It was all the robots or the animals, and it was very well done. Our original thought, the original thought of what this movie would be, because originally what we had was we didn't have any voices or
Oh, yeah.
anything. We just had the visuals of the movie, all the scenes where it was just quiet. And
Right, it was the first trailer there, or the teaser trailer
Yeah.
that they dropped where there wasn't any dialogue or anything in it. We were kind of hoping that it would be like a no dialogue movie, and it would all have to be like contextual
Yeah.
and like implied, and you have to like go through it and stuff, which rings really similar to something that we've seen in the past, which we're probably gonna have to show to Taylor after this. But Isaac, you were building to this.
yeah,
you-
like
yeah. Go ahead.
where yeah, because like you could have it where there's no dialogue at all. Like there's a lot of movies that do that very, very well. I don't know
Right.
exactly which one you're talking about. Actually, I don't understand.
What we thought it was going to be like, what we said originally all those months ago, what we said it was a ripoff of.
Oh no, I'm lost. Actually, I apologize.
The the Bastion cinematic from Overwatch.
Oh right. Oh, okay. Okay.
We
I
thought it was gonna be like something along the lines of that, which we'll have
Yeah.
to have Taylor watch
yeah, we will.
after this to see the similarities.
Right, I was
of
thinking
where
along
we
the
were
lines of
thinking.
movies, and I'm just like, what movie?
No.
But anyway, but yeah, no, we have made that joke for so long that I totally just like,
It's just Bastion.
yeah,
It's just
it is.
Bastion.
But like, that's what I thought it would be. Is that it
But
would just be
it's-
like
no,
it's
it's
just
separated
it starts
itself from
acting
that.
more like the animals and stuff. But while that would be a
Yeah.
great movie, this is a very nice like replacement for that. Like we were a
it's-
little nervous when we found out there would be voice acting, and like a lot of the things like we saw
Yeah.
those scenes where it was like the people like the city and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, is there gonna be a bunch of humans showing
Yeah,
up?
I was like,
blah,
ugh.
but no,
I'm not
like they
gonna-
kept it that, and even without it, like while there is a lot of dialogue in the movie, there's also minimal dialogue in the movie. Like all the dialogue that's in the movie is relevant to the movie. Like
Yeah.
there's not really a whole lot of wasted dialogue in this movie. Like it's pretty I really enjoyed a lot about this. Like
Yeah, it was super beautiful to look at. Animation style was
We
great,
went and
and then
saw
from
this in
beginning to
3D,
end,
by
like
the
you
way.
would just. Yo, yeah, Taylor,
Yeah.
you missed out. It was really good in 3D.
you wouldn't think that this art
It's
style
fantastic.
would lend to 3D very well because it's all like paintbrush
Again,
and
I
stuff.
disagree.
Well, like
I disagree.
think
I
about
knew
it-
from the get go it was gonna look amazing in 3D.
Well, I figured, but like it's one of those things where I'm sitting here thinking like it might just kind of do some disconnect in some spots, but no, it really helps sell this new art style. It really helps immerse you in that world, and it was very well done.
Merrick and Taylor, do you have any last thoughts before we head over to the rankings here?
I just wanted to say one thing that I was upset about,
Okay.
and that
What's that?
is how short it was. I wanted more. That is my only complaint that I could think of when I walked out, because I was like, what could I even possibly say that was bad? And there was nothing bad. It's just I sat there and I was like, I want a mini movie on each scene. Like, I want it 10 times longer because it's so good.
That's the thing, is I can almost guarantee you a part of that is what Kellen was already saying. It's just like, this art style is so fucking captivating. I just want more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This art style, there's only one other art style that has me in that same vein, and that's the Spider-Verse ones. Like when Into the Spider-Verse came out, I saw that and I went, I want so much fucking more of this. Like, please give me more. It's why I am so angry that the studio that made that movie approached DC and said, "Hey, we'd like to make a
Isaac's
movie.
getting mad.
We'd like to make a movie in the style of Into the Spider-Verse about Batman Beyond. We will make
It
this
would go so
movie
hard.
for you." And they went, nah. And I'm like,
Hey, for the record, they did not say nah. They said not yet. They said we'll think about it. They said we'll think about
oh,
it.
so it's not a definite
still
no,
a
but it's still an
It's
L
not
opinion.
a definite no. It said that we're not looking to do that right now. We got a lot on our plate because this was when they were switching over and completely rewriting their
True.
DCU stuff. So they said not yet. Like, that's not a
True.
no, but like
But
it's
I
a
want
not
it
now.
so bad.
So,
They had concept art for it, and it
yes.
looks so fucking
Yes.
good. But like, it's that shit. It's like, we only have two movies right now that is completely in this, because The Bad Guys, yes, it kind of has that art style, but it still is very reminiscent of the old one, like of the very
Well,
old.
I think they were trying to either A, make it similar to the books,
Okay, fair.
or B, try to do like a transitional one to keep elements of both.
Then
But
they made
it had that movement,
Yeah.
that fluidity,
Yeah.
that painted feeling.
But then you have Puss in Boots. The only two movies you have are Puss in Boots: The Last Witch and this, that are completely animated in this art style alone. And it is
Right.
fucking gorgeous, and I want so much more of this tomorrow. I want it by tomorrow. Do you know how much I would fucking kill? I would absolutely kill for them to remake all of How to Train Your Dragon in this art style. I would
Oh.
literally the amount of
Isaac would
euphoria
explode into a ball of fire.
I would, oh my god, I would
And-
just be sitting there going, "Oh, it's so pretty. I love it." Like, I'd just be sitting there doing that the whole movie.
Isaac would erupt into a geyser of Terrifier 2 blood.
Nah, it's the substance at this
Wait, but
point.
what about you, Mo?
Huh?
Last thoughts? Last thoughts before the rankings?
It was. I mean, everything was pretty much covered. It's a very good movie.
Very good.
Yeah.
You told me you teared up, so
I did.
he has
What
a heart after
What
all.
part did you cry at, Meg?
Um. Well, there was
Give us your
the
tier list.
my tier list.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like most of the end, and um. And the migration part, like Taylor said the kid was crying at too.
Yeah.
You know what that scene reminded me of? Like when Bright Bill
Rankings?
when Bright Bill comes back, it reminded me of a scene from another movie that DreamWorks did. It reminded me of
Called the Rankings.
it reminded me of the ending scene of The Croods, where he comes back.
You man.
Wait, I've never
Well,
seen
when
The
he when
Croods.
he
You've never seen the Croods?
okay, never mind. I'm
The
gonna shut up.
dad is Nick Cage. We have to watch
All right,
this.
I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna shut up now then because I'm gonna make
Good,
Taylor watch it.
Okay, A, Taylor hasn't seen it, and B, the rankings.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch that for a movie night sometime. So, Merrick, Taylor, you guys are the guests, so you guys will get to go first. Taylor, what did you think of the Wild Robot?
I'm giving this a 10 out of 10.
Really?
Yes. I couldn't even, I was stretching to think of something that would make it less than a 10, and I couldn't find it. It's just perfect.
It's true. Fair enough. Merrick?
I am also giving this a 10 out of 10. We need to, as soon as this comes out on DVD or probably Blu-ray nowadays, but
4K.
we need to get that immediately.
Isaac?
Yeah, no, this shit's a 10 out of 10. This is good shit. Good soup. This is amazing.
Right. I hate to be the contrarian in the group, but I'm gonna give this a very high 9 out of 10. Only reason it's not a 10 is that I'm kind of a stickler for 10 out of 10s. I like to be like really truly blown away. Like Slingshot, dude.
Slingshot.
Like it's got to be like that. Like I cannot stop thinking about it. Godzilla -1, fucking Slingshot. Like it's got to truly blow me away. And like yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's an amazing movie. Yes, I love it, but like I don't know. Like I'm not. This probably isn't something personally that I could just like put on once a week and you know for my own enjoyment.
Yeah. That's fair.
And I'm again not bashing it at all.
No.
It's just I wasn't up. It's nine is a perfect. It's a almost perfect or almost perfect movie. 10 is like above and beyond. It just didn't go above and beyond for me.
That's fair.
It's definitely above and beyond for DreamWorks.
Oh yes.
Like again, this has to be the golden standard for DreamWorks movies. In comedy, in writing, in emotional, in storytelling, in art style, this should be the gold standard. They should say if it's not as good as this, we shouldn't make it.
Exactly.
That's what I'll say. If it's not at the very minimum as good as Wild Robot, we shouldn't make it.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel.
Fair.
All right. So, that being said, we are probably going to change shirts and perhaps even change daytimes as we will finish the rest of this podcast later. Wow, look at that. It's another day, another movie. And that movie is Transformers 1. Isaac, would you like to take it away for us, please?
Absolutely. Optimus Prime and Megatron, as former friends, bonded like brothers. Their relationship ultimately changes Cybertron's fate forever.
That's a pretty lax
That's it.
description of it.
That's all it is.
It's not bad. So it's kind of an origin story for not only just Optimus Prime and Megatron, but the whole like Transformers franchise as a whole, going back to the true start of things.
Yeah, it is interesting because like after watching it and like I've been thinking about it, there isn't a lot of media that's about that. Like it's all once
Yeah.
they're already on Earth.
Yeah, a lot of series, like most of it is like that. If you want anything, any information going back to like Cybertron and like the actual origin of the Transformers, you'd have to resort to the comics because,
Yeah.
like, I don't know why they don't think that would be entertaining. You would think there would be a lot more series, a lot more mainstream stuff like on the
Like
whole
even in the Michael
Transformers planet.
Bay, even in the Michael Bay ones, like they kind of brush over Cybertron as a thing. Like it's kind of weird because like they talk about the war, and then they like in the third one, I think it is in Dark Side of the Moon, they bring Cybertron back, or the dude that's like the whole thing is he tries to bring Cybertron to like Earth.
Yeah.
Is his whole thing. It's like, but like you don't get a whole lot about Cybertron itself, which is weird.
And it's interesting you bring up the Michael Bay movies because you had mentioned this that the bad guy, the twist villain in
Yeah.
this movie is Sentinel Prime.
Yes.
And you have informed us that Sentinel is in fact one of the bad guys in one of the other Michael Bay movies.
Yeah,
And he
he's
dies.
the bad guy in that same movie.
Okay, yeah. Well,
He in Dark Side of the Moon.
yeah, and he dies in this movie. So
Yes.
it's clearly not a prequel to the Michael Bay movies. And it's kind of they have their more like classic looks, so I'm more lenient on believing that this is supposed to be like an origin to the 1980s cartoons, or it's just starting its own franchise from here. But it's a weird way to start this off because it starts off funny and goofy and childish, but then by the end it's more serious and more a shift in tone, really. So it would be weird to continue a series, like a spin-off series off of this movie, or a sequel would have to be completely tonally different than the rest of this movie.
Yeah, I've actually been looking at like some more modern Transformers stuff too, like the animated Transformers stuff recently, and I can tell that the art style of this movie is very much draws heavy influence from Transformers Prime. You can really see it, especially when you look at Sentinel. There's a character in that, like, I don't even know who they are. I've just seen clips. But there's a character in Transformers Prime that looks almost exactly like Sentinel does. Like, so it's taking something that kids are already watching, like the art style that kids are familiar with, and all
well,
that.
Is it a? Do you think it could be a prequel to that?
I mean, no, because I think, or maybe it's not Prime that I'm thinking of that he does that in.
It better not
Prime.
be Earthspark. That's just garbage.
No. Prime is the one from like 2010. I think actually. So
the Cartoon Network series?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of something else. What's the name of that one that I just It's the one that I was thinking about. There was a Transformers show that I stumbled across recently, and like Optimus looks freaking jacked.
Beast Wars.
Optimus just looks No, it's like one of the more recent
You should watch
ones.
Beast Wars though. It's like
it
the
is.
greatest.
But like
it's the
Optimus
series.
is like fucking jacked in it, and like spoiler alert, I don't know exactly what show we're even talking about, but like he sacrifices himself to because the Allspark fuses with the Matrix of leadership inside of him.
Is that not every series that Optimus Prime sacrifices himself? Because how many times does he die in the Michael Bay movies alone?
Like 3.
Like 3, exactly.
Well, at least 2, and then the third one is maybe implied, I think, or maybe he just fakes his own death, but it's one of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I'd have to find it, but I just saw something about it because it's that speech that people clip of Optimus Prime where he's like, "Do not lament at my passing," and all that. Like, it's from that, and I don't know which one it is, but like, that show has very similar art style to this. But going into the movie itself, I really found myself liking what they did. Originally, when we saw the trailer for this, I was super nervous that it was Chris Hemsworth and like the people that they had cast. I was like, and the way they were portraying it, like the scene, the one that always made me roll my eyes was the one where they're sitting there and he's like, "I'm not talking to you," and then he just yells at him. He's like, "It's like, can't believe you did this." He's like, "I thought you were talking to me." Like, I was like, "Oh, that's like," I was nervous about it, but honestly,
especially coming fresh off of Thor: Love and Thunder, he's kind of like, you're not really taking him seriously. It's kind of tarnished on him, and then this, and then Optimus Prime, like the most like serious, like guy as Chris Hemsworth, and then like the most like vile, hate-filled villain in all of Transformers and like all of the 80s is fucking Lemon from Bullet Train back there.
Yeah. It was,
I don't know. It felt off. And it did feel off throughout like the first half of the movie because they're so unlike the characters that they become. Like Megatron is very like cool-headed. Hey, let's think this through rationally.
Follow
like,
the
hey,
rules.
don't you follow the rules? Hey, don't act out so crazy. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. And then Optimus Prime is all like loosey goosey. Hey, like, hey, come on, man, let's break a few rules, have a few fun. Let's do some of this. Merrick,
that
I know
very
you
like
laugh
Chris
at
and
me for
Lloyd
saying have a
dynamic.
few fun, and that tickled your funny bone, didn't it, Merrick? That was the first
Yeah,
noise
it
you made
did.
in this recording session here. You've been completely quiet, and the only thing you have to contribute is laughing at me stumbling over my words. Thank you.
Have a few fun.
Did they have a few fun or not?
Do we have a few? I want that on a t-shirt. Let's have a few fun.
Did they have a few fun? Answer me, riddle me that, Merrick. Riddle me that.
They could have.
They could have. They could have. But then, anyway, so their personalities are so much more like the actors are. But then, as the movie progresses and the tone gets more serious and the plot gets more heavy, I think that's where it really picks up into something interesting when it starts building that momentum and starts taking itself more seriously, and then they go through like two different like upgrade sequences, and they become bigger and better and more than meets the eye, so to speak. And then that really shifts their personalities into the Optimus Prime and Megatron that we've come to know just as their characters.
Well, it's really nice because that personality that they have in the first half of this really makes more sense to them becoming that, because like the whole big spoilers for the movie or whatever, Sentinel Prime is the Sentinel Prime is the bad guy, obviously, and he's been robbing newborn Transformers, whatever newborn Transformers look like, of their ability to transform. He takes their cogs out of their chest when they're newborn, so they can't transform. He can control them. But like, he is hailed as the hero of Cybertron. So when Megatron and Optimus find this out, they find out that this man that they have looked up to their entire lives is actually betraying their entire race. It changes them because Optimus has that optimistic attitude and Megatron has that very cold, like, he has that very, not, I don't want to say cold,
we have
but like
to follow
very
the
objective.
rules.
Yeah,
like we
he has
have
that
to
very
stay inside
objective
the
thing.
box.
Yeah, so when that betrays them, so when that system betrays them, Tron wants vengeance because he has followed these rules for so long and he's done all this, and then just to find out that it's all a sham, he abandons that completely and he wants vengeance. Whereas Optimus, who has kind of skirted the rules his whole life and kind of not felt a whole lot about it, he ends up adapting a moral and like system, and he wants justice instead. And that's kind of the whole thing between Optimus and Megatron, is that one wants things to be fair, and one just wants to raise everything, basically. Like it works very well, and I think the actors did a very good job of portraying that as the movie went
transition.
on. Yeah, that transition. It was really the transformation, if you will.
Merrick, you actually went and saw this before us. Did you and the people that you went to go see with, did you have any other unique insights? Because I know you went and saw this with the resident Transformers expert of your friend group.
Yes. As far as I could tell, it was fairly accurate to fairly lore accurate about Cybertron and that. Because I did get a lore dump about Transformers from him, and it was pretty similar to one of the first few scenes where he's in the library or whatever.
Oh, and he's got that hologram giving him the lore dump. That was your friend doing it to you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they were very smart with the exposition machine there.
I mean, it's fair enough. That was funny. I think what it lacks in a lot is the humor that they try to force into this, because it's such a disconnect for me personally, because it feels like it's caught between trying to be like a serious thing with like actually heavy plot and like that pulls you in, because at the end when it goes into that, it really pulls you in, you really get invested.
Yeah.
But towards the beginning and anytime Bumblebee's on screen, they try to keep it like light and happy, and well, not happy, but like childish, really. I think a lot of the attempts at humor are really like childish and low-hanging fruit kind of stuff.
Yeah. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that, like, once the tone shifts and they actually get their transformations and all that, and, like, Megatron starts to get more serious, the only times you really get that, like, silly humor is really just, they just use Bumblebee as that. Like, because Bumblebee's really the only one. And I'm just like, if they could have just cut that out a bit in the second half of the movie, like, if Bumblebee just wouldn't have been as like that, like, it would have been a much better... It would have been...
Transition.
It would have been cooler.
Transformation.
Because it would have been... Well, like, it would have been better because it's like, oh, we're going to start out with this, like, super, you know, lighthearted kids movie thing, and we're going to transform into this, like, more serious tone. Because that's what it is. It's the start of a war. Like, it's...
an uprising, a revolution.
And anyone who knows anything about Transformers lore, like, if you know anything about that, it's even further than that, because it's the start of the destruction of Cybertron. Like,
it's true.
Like, you know where it's gonna end up. Like, and I think that would have been a pretty decent thing to just shift to a completely serious thing, rather than that. But I mean, I get why they did it. This is targeted towards kids. So,
well, that's my other complaint, is that, like, is it? Because I think the biggest like drawback, like the biggest like low point of the movie is that it's caught between being a serious kind of like teenager, preteen, you know, early adult and a kids movie, because when it starts getting ramping into the war stuff and the you know Optimus Prime, Megatron stuff, like that gets like actually interesting and like heavy, but all the humor and stuff is so kid like. But at the same time, they say hell and damn throughout the movie all the time, and like there's a running joke that Bumblebee wants to be called Badassatron, and like I'm like, if I take my, this is not something I'd take a 5 or 6-year-old to see, because they're like using like, yeah, it's light swears, but that's still swearing, and like I don't know if that's just a reflex of the culture where parents and adults like stopped caring about not swearing in front of their kids, or like if that's just they wanted it to, like, it's PG-13, I think. So if that's like the audience they were going for, 13-year-olds, but it's Transformers, so you're gonna attract a lot kids a lot younger than that as well. So I would have kept that in mind. And plus, you see multiple characters like die and get killed on screen. Megatron rips the villain in half on screen and just throws him to the side.
Like we said in the Wild Robot like kind of thing. Like there's actual, like, we see a decapitated crow's head on screen in that movie. But I guess there's a lot of kids that wouldn't understand that.
It's kind of different in a way it's hard to put. And like that's DreamWorks though. DreamWorks has been doing shit like that.
Fair. But
forever.
The point I want to bring up is that Transformers has this problem where it has a fan base that stretches generations.
Yeah.
So, of course, the way that Transformers is presented changes over time because they have to adapt to a new generation and liking the show and all that stuff. And the problem with Transformers 1 is that it feels like it wants to appease the older fans while also needing to cater to the newer fans to make money.
The younger fans.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like yeah, it's they're trying to market it to the kids that like Transformers because of like the shows that have come out in the past couple of years. I know you hate it, but Earthspark does have a lot of kids fans, so kids will see that and be like, Transformers, cool. And like they're like, oh, Transformers movie, Dad, let's go see it. And it's like, so they're trying to cater to that older fan base where it's like, hey, here's this kind of serious stuff, and like it's the all this and everything. Like I was pleasantly surprised with it, you know? Like I was expecting I was expecting Earthspark, frankly. But it was.
But aren't you glad you didn't get that? Because Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that would have been awful. But you know what I mean. Like it was. Like it was good. Like it was pretty cool. But the problem is that because it's trying to cater to those older ones, it is caught between those. Because older Transformers and newer Transformers are vastly different.
Yeah, it is trying to cater to both, and it's caught in between that. It still pays off at the end. I think think the last half of the movie is way better than the first half. Actually, I think the last half of the movie is probably better than the whole movie combined.
Probably.
Merrick, do you have anything else to say about Transformers 1 before we move on to the rankings here?
No, not really.
Did you like it?
I did enjoy it. It is enjoyable. Yeah. It's not the best movie of all time, but it's still it's not bad.
Fair enough. All right, with that being said, let's roll on into the rankings here. Merrick, since you saw the movie first, you get to do the rankings first.
All right, I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough. I'm also gonna give this a 6 out of 10. It's probably gonna top my sixes and be the top of the six list. Like I said, I think the biggest drawback is just the disconnect between how serious you're meant to be taking it and how childish the comedy really is. It's just caught between trying to be a serious, more preteen, teenager, adult thing and being a silly, goofy kids thing, and it's caught between that, and I think it suffers slightly, but not terribly too much.
Yeah. I'm also giving this one a 6. It was just kind of enjoyable. We've had a streak. Well, not really a streak, but like we've had like quite a few movies this year that aren't like neutral movies, but they're just fun to watch. Like they're not
Like, yeah,
they're no there's something that you know what it's
not
something that
something
you
I'd
could
really
throw on.
buy or like
Yeah, it's
actively
something you
want
could
to show
throw on
people
with
like,
your
oh, you gotta
buddies.
see this.
Like, it's something
I,
you could get a friend group together. Well, this one not
I
necessarily,
wouldn't.
but like this one not necessarily. But I'm putting it in that category of like in my sixes because that's where it fits. Like those movies we've had, like Beekeeper, Killer's Game, things like that. Like those are just like they're fun.
Yeah,
They're nothing special. They were just kind of fun,
yeah,
and
fair
like
enough.
that's what it is.
All right. All right, moving on to our next movie, we have Speak No Evil, which is a remake of a movie that came out 2 years ago and was already mostly in English. So, already not entirely sure why this needed to be made. But nevertheless, Isaac, please take us away with the description.
Absolutely. A dream holiday turns into a living nightmare when an American couple and their daughter spend the weekend at a British family's idyllic country estate. Wow, that's a much better movie. Just right there. It's right there. The vagueness of that, I wish I could have stayed there. I wish I could have stayed with that vague statement rather than actually having to watch this.
Yeah. Everyone see the trailer, you know that the British family's actually evil and want to kill him or something. Most of that was predictable from the start, even if you didn't watch the original movie. So really new audiences like us were more or less wondering, oh, what exactly are they doing? Like, what are the
Yeah.
fine details? Because we already know vague, like, oh, you're being tricked. Oh, they invite you over, and bad thing happened. They're
Yeah.
evil
They're
in
not
some
cool,
manner, but what is their exact
he doesn't
plan
treat
is the
his
thing.
kid properly or whatever. Like I'm
Yeah,
thinking
is that he's
like,
mean to his kid. He like throws a bread at him and yells at him and smacks him in
originally
the head
I
or some
just thought
shit.
he's just like some like oh they're just gonna kill them because he's
Yeah, oh, they're
because he's a
murderers or something.
sociopath. Like he's just a
Yeah,
sociopath kind of thing. Like I thought it was just oh classic trope of they invite people in and the only
and then kill
method
him.
of mystery that I had going into this movie was because going into the movie with the trailer, you could tell that the kid is already like you can tell like literally the trailer spells it out for you that they cut his tongue off.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
cut out
like
his tongue.
and I'm sitting here like, okay, but a child raised by a sociopath wouldn't feel the need to like warn people. I feel like he would have been raised in this. Like this can't be the first time they've done this. So like I'm trying to figure it out. But like that answer is answered to me. That is answered for me in the movie because like you find out that they kidnapped him. What their thing is that they invite families over that have children. They kidnap the child, kill the parents, and take the new child. Is what it
Yeah, and
is.
they just keep that chain
Yeah.
going with the next family.
So he's
But
not even their child.
yeah, the glaring issue here is that it's a remake. And
Yeah.
something very important to the story was lost in translation.
Yes.
Because in the original movie, it's a Danish film. And it's the exact same premise, but the evil couple are Dutch, and that the the victim couple are Danish,
Yes.
and it was made as like a commentary on how like Danish culture is very like quiet and like passive and polite and like, oh no,
Yeah.
no, sorry, you go ahead of me. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude, that kind of thing. And then the Dutch are very like brash and just like, yeah, it's kind of rude, but whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you, mate. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's a commentary on that, like how much are you gonna let these people
Yeah.
like they're evil, but like how much
At
are you
what
just gonna
point
let
does
them
your-
do until
Yeah.
at what point does your like survival need surpass your politeness need in the cultural difference there?
At what point does your
Like,
your level of being uncomfortable override the fact that these people are insane?
yeah.
Like,
And
like when are you going to
that's
say
what the
something?
commentary was. It's like you're polite
Yeah.
and they take what they want, but how much are you gonna let them take? And they try to translate that over to it, but like the quiet, polite people are American, and then the brash, like tough love parenting kind of people, the evil people are British,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
Feels like that
not.
should be the other way around.
Yeah, it should, like, if you're going stereotypically was. So like the whole message of the original movie was like a commentary on two cultures, and now that's completely out the window and in fact done the opposite. So what you have instead, and Merrick, he's about to explain to you in detail the effect of this. What you have is two like American people who are just so dumb and so stupid and just continuously make the worst decisions for no reason. Merrick, you were you were insanely mad at this movie.
This movie is aggravating
Yeah,
because of just how stupid these characters are.
I
They
agree.
they don't have the combined IQ to solve a second grade math problem. And the smartest character in the movie is the kid.
Yeah, I did. I like the boy. Ant, his
Yeah,
name was.
yeah,
Terrible
yeah.
name,
To
by the way.
clarify, the one that they had already kidnapped, not the one that
Yeah.
they introduced, not the child of the family. It's the one that they kidnapped.
The
Yeah,
kid
the one
named
that they
after a bug.
He's
Kid named
like,
after
this is
a
a bug.
bug.
That's right. I think the best scene in the movie is with him as well, is when he's trying to warn the little girl of the victim family that that the evil people are evil, so he brings her into
Yeah.
the like basement of the shed and shows her like the backpacks and the cell phones and the purses of all the other people that they killed and the photo album with family after family after family after family, and then in each photo that the evil family's in, they have a different kid corresponding to the kid of the last family. And then he does the thing from the trailer where he opens his mouth and he drags the scissors across like he's cutting his tongue out. And like, sensually, I thought that scene was good.
Yeah.
The dramatic beats that it had
Yeah,
with
it's very
each like
good.
scissor chop, like that, like it worked. That was pretty much like the
The kid
only
was a decent
good
actor in
scene
the
I
movie,
thought.
honestly.
Yeah, he wasn't
Like
he
he
wasn't
portrayed
bad.
he
It's just
portrayed a lot of emotion without being able to speak.
Yeah, it's just like the reasoning was non-existent. It's like, because you're sitting there like, why are you letting these people leave? Why are you not leaving? Because at least in the other movie they had a reason. Like, oh, it's a commentary on how they'll do anything to avoid being rude because that's what the culture's like. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. You can do that. But for this movie, the first hour, this is like an over 2 hour movie. The first hour is just Attack of the Killer microaggression, because they'll just
Yeah.
'cause the mean parents will say something and then the good parents will just kind of like look at him like, "Oh, you shouldn't say that, really." And then they're just like, "Oh, it's fine." And it's just
Yeah.
that for an hour. For an hour, they don't do anything,
Exactly.
and you're sitting there for a whole
The
hour. Like, oh my god, please kill somebody already.
Exactly. Like,
I
just pick it up.
I was just watching the movie. I was like, please, I don't care who it is, just somebody die.
The ball has to get rolling, and you have it
They
in a
could have
fucking sand pit right now.
they could have just left at
could've.
any point.
Well, they did. They did just leave.
did
They
leave.
And then their
did, and
daughter
they
had a
went
fucking
back.
panic attack because she doesn't have a
Your
bunny.
12-year-old daughter
They're
lost
supposed
her
to have
stuffed bunny, and then she
a
had a
hair
panic
balloon.
attack. Oh my god.
I hate the mom so much.
I hate
I
I hate
hate
everyone.
her
all
so
of
much.
them.
I hate all of them so much. But like, at least the dad tries to be like, dude, just fuck the bunny. Let's just leave. And like, and the mom is just like, just go do it. Just go get it back. And it's
Just
like,
turn around and go back to the
fuck
people.
no.
The reason
No.
they left is that they found the daughter in bed with the other parents, and
Yeah,
that's fucking weird. So they're just like,
that is
okay, we're
weird.
leaving. And then they came back, and then the other parents were like, oh, why would you leave us? We try so hard to be nice. And then they stayed
the
for 2 more days.
And
The
then they
reason that she gave is so fucking vague. Like, I get it in a way, but like, it also makes zero sense. 'Cause the reason she gave for why their daughter was in bed with them was she was like, "We used to have a daughter,
We used
and
to have a
she
daughter. Now
died,
she's
and
dead. But
and
that
she's
my
dead, and I saw
maternal
her crying.
instinct.
Yeah, I saw her crying, and you weren't there, so I just decided to take your child into bed with me and my husband."
She's 12. Let her
Yeah.
get over it.
Fucking send her to her parents' room.
Exactly. It's just like, oh,
I
sleep with us, babe. And it's like, no, you
no.
idiot, leave. It's like, and like,
Just leave.
even if
Also,
she did buy that excuse, it's
yeah,
like, okay, fine, I forgive you, but still, we're leaving. We're still leaving.
yeah, we're still going to leave. Like,
But
they're
they
sitting
don't.
there because what
They
they're trying
hang
to,
out
because
and they
they
have brunch with
successfully
them
guilt
for
they successfully
another
guilt
hour.
them into staying. They guilt them into staying because they're like, "Oh, you guys just tried to leave in the middle of the night without saying nothing? Wow, real great moment there, guys." Like
Yes.
that's effectively what they
Yes,
did.
are.
They did it a lot more dramatic, but like that's effectively what they did. They just guilted them into staying.
And it worked because they're stupid.
These are
Because they're
definitely
so
liberal
stupid.
Americans.
That's true.
They're
Because
so stupid.
if you
They
try
could have
this
left
with like anyone who's not like a limp
at any point.
limp wristed cuck like the dad, he would just be like, "No, fuck you." It's like, no, we're not. Okay, bye.
I made the joke when we saw the trailer, like the second trailer for this, where you see the scene because like they try to leave. There's another scene where they try to leave and they find out that they have like flat tires, like, and I may be misremembering, but they're very
Eric
clearly
got real mad at
slashed.
that scene.
I feel, but like,
No, there was a nail in it or something.
oh, that's what it was. But I made
Yeah.
the joke when we saw the trailer the first time. I was like, well, that's what you get for owning a Tesla. Like, but go ahead, Mo. Go off about that scene.
And they still could have just left on foot.
It could have.
It could have.
I don't.
I mean, it was a long way into the country, but like, it's better than staying here. And
It's better than staying.
because at that point, you know for a
Just
fact that they're
leave.
fucking crazy maniacs. What are
Yeah,
they
at
gonna
that
do?
point, they
Chase
had
me
all
the whole
known
time?
that they are going
All
to
of
kill
you?
them.
They knew.
And they do like a whole 10-minute sequence with that. It's like 3 separate things that they bring up to keep them there even longer.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
in
we
the
got.
And then they
Oh, we
don't
got
do
to
anything.
driveway saying, we're going. They're in the driveway saying, "Okay, goodbye. We're gonna leave," and they're just like, "Oh, you got a flat tire, mate." And then they're like, "Ah, it's a shame. We'll just drive on it still." And then it's like, "Nah, we'll change it for you. We'll change the tire for you.
I got a
And then
patch
they're like,
kit for you.
okay, I got a patch kit. No, we're fine. Oh, I got a spare. Let me change it, mate. And he's like, all right, fine, change it. So then they change the tire for another 5 minutes. And then it's like, have you got everything you need? It's like, yeah, we're good. And then the daughter's like, I don't have my bunny again because I'm irresponsible. I'd fucking dragged my own stuffed animal around for years after I probably should have. I kept track of it. You
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
If you are so fucking dependent on this thing that you will have a
Why are you
panic attack if
leaving
you
it
don't
everywhere?
have it, why is it not in your fucking hands?
And it's like, oh, well, it's fine. We'll grab you
It's
another
just
one. It's
like
that's
Linus
fine.
with his
Even-
safety
they
blanket
even-
level of fucking dependent on this thing.
Even the daughter at that point was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. I'll just get a new one. Like, she didn't want to be there too. And then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, there it is. It's up in the fucking gutter, like 20 feet
Yeah.
above them. It's like, how did it get up there, mate? It's a
And they're like, Aunt,
mystery.
did you do that?
Did you do that, little boy with the arm strength of five twins?
And they say that and it's literally pointless because everyone but them know. Like everyone knows what's going on here.
They know. They're in a
Everyone
fucking
knows.
quiz contest.
They
When are you gonna start running? Is the question. So they're doing everything
Still.
they can to save face because no one said it out loud yet, and they just
Oh,
drag it
again,
out.
spent 5
Them
minutes getting
leaving the
bunny.
driveway. Them leaving the driveway takes 30 minutes. Because
It
it
does.
takes so
like-
fucking long for them to actually get out of here, and it's aggravating.
Because not only after
It's
that,
so bad.
not only after they get the bunny and they get down, they take another 5 minutes to be like, I'm gonna, like he pokes at the fact that the wife cheated on him.
Yeah, and they brings
He's
up
like
that
that,
shit
I'll
and he's
send you
like,
a
"Oh,
maybe I'll
before
send you a
go,
text."
here's all your perfect here's all your marital problems falling apart. How's the affair going? And then it's like, really, dude, stop, please. And at least
And then
in the original, they had an excuse for that. Because you're meant to feel that way, because it's a reflection on the society. It's like, stop, you need
Yeah.
to stand up for yourself. In this, it's you're just stupid.
No,
You're just
Americans
cock.
don't act this way.
Americans don't tend to do that. Who wrote
Even the
this?
most limp-
Blumhouse, please, come on.
Yeah, like seriously, it was, and like now I hate the fact that they had James McAvoy in it because like I like
Yeah.
him, I like him as a character. I like that, like when he
Right.
plays that kind of like, he has some of the best acting in the movie. Like I do have to say, like there's
and
the
the
scene
boy.
that I keep talking about in the movie where, you know, right after they find out, they come out of the bathroom because the whole family's in the bathroom. And like they come out of the bathroom and they're going to leave. They know that they're planning on it, and it's like, I know, like they know. They know. Like it's literally just a pissing contest of, okay, who's gonna say it first? Like who's gonna show their hand first? But anyway, so they come out of the bathroom and they're giving him this compliment, and he has this thing where he goes like, "Oh, well, that's nice of you to say," and he's like got this smile, but he can't like hold it, kind of thing. And I really like that. Like that's a really
like
good
his body
shot.
language and like his acting is pretty good, but the aggravation comes from how fucking defeatable they are.
They are. The line
Because
in the
any
movie,
real
the literal-
American would have had a fucking gun in the car and shot him
they
ages
are,
ago.
They are in Europe.
Or they.
They are. They don't allow guns there.
It's true. British. How's their knife crime though?
Fair. I mean, they do have a gun in the movie, but
that's another thing. They're Americans who went over to England for a job, and then they didn't get the job, and then they didn't move back to America. It's like, oh, it must be expensive. the movie starts out with a 3-person trip to Italy over the course of a week.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The movie makes
are you
zero
doing?
sense. Like it's
It
literally
makes zero
they
sense.
literally went copy paste with the original, and then we're like, oh shit,
And
we
then
don't have.
took out the part that made it make sense.
Well, what I mean is they did copy paste, and they're like, well, we need to make them American and British. Okay, well now we need to change how we get here and how we get there. So it's like, oh, and then they just threw a half-assed thing together for both of them.
It
It
really
was
did.
just,
It really did.
it was just, it was so. Oh, and they expedite things so fast that it feels like they went on this week-long vacation. And they went. And then they came back, they met these people on that vacation. And then when they come back, they get this message from them, and they're gone again. They, like, leave right away. Like, it feels like that. Where I actually, because I was looking into the other movie, there's a month that passes in the other movie. And it's accentuated in the other movie. Like...
And that's the thing is, because maybe there is a month difference.
We got nothing
We
to
can't
indicate
tell.
that. We got nothing to indicate that. It seems they met these
Can't
people
even
on
tell.
vacation, and flippant as the fucking weather, they just
There
decided,
was
let's go
one
here.
scene. There was one scene in between the vacation and the other vacation that they took. There was a single scene in between that.
And it was them arguing about
crazy.
how soft their daughter is.
Physically. She's got no bones. They're not the British one.
But anyway, no,
Yeah,
they're
I
just
mean-
fucking... The line in the movie that sums it up perfectly is because, like, in these types of movies, you know, where people are kidnapped or whatever, there's always the inevitable scene where they go,
The
why did you...
The
why
last
are you...
25 minutes you're talking about here.
Yeah.
The last 25 minutes of this
Yeah.
fucking
But they get to that
slag of a
scene that
movie.
inevitably happens in all these movies where they ask them, they have to like, why are you doing this to us? And he literally goes, because you let us. Like he means it.
And that's a fair point.
That's the funny thing is that
You're
in the movie
stupid
he means it
fucks.
as like a
You're so
sociological
dumb.
thing. Like
They're
he
so stupid.
means it as like a sociological thing because he goes on this whole
Yeah.
rant about like, oh, you guys with your things and your family and blah blah blah, and
With
it's like
your niceness and
all
your
that
politeness.
and all that, but it's like no, they literally let you. They could have fucking left at any time. The amount of times that they had to just fucking leave or even kill you guys is fucking ridiculous. Like,
They tried to one up the original Strangers, where it's like, why are you doing this to us? And they said, because you were home.
yeah.
And that's chilling, because it's like, we don't care. And it's not, you're not special. It's just you happen to be
Yeah,
here.
we didn't target you. You just are the ones that were here.
You're the one who answered the door. We went knocking. You answered, so you're dead. They tried to do that here, where it was like, because you let us, and like again, with the context of the other movie, it's like, we do this because you, as a people, you're so polite that you'll just allow this to happen. But here, it's just like, we do this because you're stupid. And because you won't
That's
run
the other
away.
thing. That makes
Because
way more
you
sense.
specifically
They're
are
so
stupid.
That makes more sense.
Because there's nothing knocking around in your
The original
skull.
makes so much more sense because it's a Dutch family that is specifically targeting people who are Danish because they know that they
Yeah.
won't do nothing. This is, they go
Exactly.
out and they find random ass people.
I
Like,
do, because the last family was Danish beforehand. So if
Yeah, I think so,
if it's
yeah.
just people that they meet on vacation and they just pick a family, make friends, and do that, and just attach to whoever, there's no security in that decision, because what if you befriended the wrong kind of people, and they show up to your farm, at the slightest thing they're just like, yeah, we're fucking out of here, you psycho whack jobs, and then they're
yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
the annoying
oh
thing
no,
about
you
these
gotta
types of
stay.
movies.
You gotta. I keep doing like a Irish or whatever. That's the only European accent I can do.
But
So
they
I'm
don't-
just
they don't
rolling it.
Think
It's
it
like,
through.
oh, you gotta stay. Come on,
This
we're
movie
doing
was
a
just
we're doing a
shit.
fuck you.
Yeah.
You could end the movie in 2 words. Just go fuck you,
Yeah.
and then leave. And then they'll be forced to like show their hand, and then it'll either get things going, or they'll just let him go.
Exactly. Like, it's just
Fucking the most
I forgot
aggravating
the
part of
annoying-
this is
I
when the
forgot about
action
that.
is when the action does pick up and like all the facade is dropped and they're running around the house and the bad guys are literally dropping guns out of their pocket like they're Sonic, like Sonic getting hit and all the rings fall out, but like all like 20 shotguns fall out of their pocket when they fall over, and these people, they don't think to pick up a single one. There's one point where they have a
Oh, no.
shotgun and then they put it down and leave it there for the rest of the chase scene and the fight for the whole time. They just leave it
Yup.
there.
There's one scene where the wife splashes acid on the guy's face, and then he falls over in pain and drops his gun, and she just leaves it there instead of picking it up and shooting
Runs
him,
away.
and he survives that.
He survives that because she's stupid. She had a chance to kill him before too, because she had the dresser pushed up in front of the door and he was trying to get in and she was blocking him, and she had a meat
Head
fork,
is in
and
the
he had
door.
his head is like pressed against the door like this, and he's got his arm like just flailing around, and she doesn't stab him in the eye to take that out. She doesn't stab him in the temple so the fork will go directly into his brain and kill him. She doesn't stab him in the throat where he can bleed out and die. She stabs him
Like right here.
in the forearm. In the forearm.
No arteries. There's no real major arteries like
Where
right there.
there's nothing. Like on the back of it, not like in
not
the
here.
front where it
Not
can, like,
here. Like,
where all
you
the
could, like,
veins and shit
yeah.
are. In the back.
in the back where all the
it's just-
muscle is.
It's just muscle and meat, and it just hurts.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like,
like,
what the fuck?
you want your family to die because you're doing a great job of it.
It's so
And then even at the end of the movie, where it's like they kill the
We're gonna
evil
leave
wife.
him.
She like falls off a ladder and
Yeah.
dies or something. Whatever.
falls off the roof.
It wasn't. Yeah, she falls off the roof. It wasn't even like them purposely killing her because she's evil and a maniac. And then the other guy, he's like down and defeated, and he's just like, do it, kill me. And then they're just like, no, and then they just walk away. And it's like, what? No, kill him. He's a maniac, and he's gonna keep doing it.
To
if
the
you don't.
rescue.
And then the kid who got his tongue cut out, no, he picks up a brick and just bashes his skull in. And it's like, thank you for being the only one to have more than a single cell in your
I
brain.
forgot about another, like, the even more aggravating part of the scene where they're trying to drive away is like, so they know about the kid, so they're also like, oh, we gotta try and get the kid. So the plan
We gotta
is
save the kid.
the plan is they were gonna be like, Ant, go get the gate, like go open the gate for us so we can leave, and they were just gonna nab him and run.
Yeah.
But then they're like, no, we got it, and he clicks a button and the gate swings open. And they're like, oh, okay, and they go to leave. They still go to leave because they're like, oh, well, we can bring people back and help him. And as they're leaving, before they even get out the gate, they glance back and they see the dude throwing the kid into the pond. And like
If they didn't look, they were facing the opposite direction. If no one was looking back, that kid would have just drowned.
They would have, yes.
And then they would have called the police, and it would still be over. Honestly,
but like they could have just,
even though he's the best character,
Yeah.
they could have killed the boy for the movie to be over.
yeah, but
That is fair statement.
But anyway,
I
they
would've
see
taken
that,
that
so
deal.
they stop the fucking car before the gate, and then the dude gets
Right,
out, and they
could've
drove
past the gate.
They could have drove
They
past
could
the
have
gate.
drove past the gate and then gotten out, and then jumped over the fence after it closes to get back
They
into the
coulda put
car.
the door-
But they didn't.
Or they could have put the
They
car
stopped the
in
car.
the path of the gate. They could have put it in
Still
the doorway.
in the gate, so that they can close it and trap them again.
Yeah,
Because they're stupid.
they're fucking idiots.
I hate
Because
these
they're
people.
so darn stupid.
dumb.
I hate these people.
Honestly, at a certain point,
Ugh.
I think I remember I leaned over to you and I'm like, is it weird that I'm kind of rooting for them to die at this point?
Yeah, yeah, it would be pretty satisfying, would it not?
It would be.
I saw an article, like it popped up before we watched it, and I didn't read it on purpose because I didn't
Yeah.
want to spoil it before. But it was like, James McAvoy talking about the movie. It's like, oh, people were throwing things at the screen, and I'm like, oh god, is it that bad? And yes, it was that bad. If I had shit and I didn't respect the theater the way I do, I would have thrown stuff at the screen with how terrible they were.
Yeah.
But then after the fact, I went back and read the article to see what they were talking about. And no, people were throwing things at the screen at James McAvoy's character because of how truly toxic he was. That's the fucking point. And that's the least upsetting thing about the movie.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots. And that's the type of people who would be genuinely angry, not at how stupid the main people are, but of how mean and toxic the bad guy was. And then also they would have... They're completely toxic and throw things all over the movie theater the way they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's get this shit, trite out of here.
Exactly.
Let's get over to the rankings. Isaac, you're up first.
I gave this movie a straight up 3. It was so bad. Like it wasn't even like, and I was kind of excited about this one too. Like it looked decent and it looked okay. And then they just
most of the time when Blumhouse teams up with somebody else, they actually can do something competent, but no, still no. Anyways, I'll give this a 3 out of 10 as well. It's really bad. It's really annoying, and it doesn't. I don't really see the purpose to remake something like this, especially so recently, and it's being in the same language as well. Literally all they're doing is they're taking out the reasoning and purpose behind the original that made all the stupidity of them make sense, and now they're just stupid because they're stupid.
So here's the fun part: is knowing how long it takes to make a movie, especially something like this where they need to like rent out an entire farmhouse and all that kind of stuff, and get these people and everything. Like this movie, bare minimum, took probably about 9 months to make. Bare minimum.
Yeah. So it came out and they're just like, oh, that was pretty good. Let's do that, and it just immediately started getting going on it.
Like bare minimum. That means it, and that's just like making it. Like between setting up the set, multiple takes, because this is almost a 2-hour movie.
I mean, Blumhouse.
There's fire
Blumhouse
involved.
Blumhouse is known for doing stuff on the cheap. Like all their budgets are really small, so they could probably bang out all the locations and filming and all that stuff.
No, I'd say bare minimum it takes about 9 months from like start to end, filming, cutting, editing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like all of that. Like that's still only a year after this movie came out, roughly. Like that's
really ridiculous
wild.
Situation, and for zero payoff. Really bad.
Yeah.
All right, Merrick, you're up.
I'm gonna also give this a 3 out of 10. It's not the worst movie I've seen. I did see some of Babes. However, it was very aggravating, and I don't think I could watch this movie again.
No.
Good. Same here.
I've seen worse movies this year, but still.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving on to our final movie of the day. We have Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? Our first ever documentary on the channel, actually. Isaac, why don't you roll into our description here?
Absolutely. Matt Walsh transforms himself into a certified diversity, equity, and inclusion expert, only to uncover a world where profit, not principle, drives the agenda.
That's true.
That's a great thing about it.
First of all, I've been seeing a lot of reviews on this movie, and thankfully they're all positive. Yeah. I think the only reviews that are like really negative are people who are just so ingrained in like that to begin with, and then all their takes are just pure garbage or like just nonsensical. It's like that's not even true. They're just like, oh, this lady cooked. And I'm like, no, she didn't. She said all white people are evil, and then had nothing to back that up.
Yeah, like literally all you have to back that up is what white people have done in the past.
Exactly. And then you just blame everything else. But, you know, we're here to discuss the movie, not the actual politics, so we'll probably stay away from that. But it has to be said, the people who are just using racism as a way to make money are just intrinsically evil.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, hey, you're a bad person. Give me money.
If you
Like-
actually wanted to promote change and make change happen and actually want these people to realize what's up, you wouldn't charge them.
Exactly.
Or at the
If you
very
see-
least,
you
or at the
see,
very
like,
least, you wouldn't charge them $3,500, which is
Isaac.
that is a
Isaac.
fucking car. That is a car.
Isaac. $35,000.
I thought that was just for one of the interviews.
No, the lady who was running the
first one?
workshop at the beginning was like 30 grand a head. With a room of like more than 12 people.
That is
To just
Bro,
tell them
sorry.
like, hey, you're all white, I'm black,
My bad.
I'm not safe in this room.
So
Why
let
are
me-
you not safe? Just because their skin's a different color. And then she's just like, I'm not safe because you're all evil. And you need to know how evil you are and
Sorry, my
how
bad.
much money you need to give me.
So it is not a down payment on a car. It is a fucking car. I could spend that on a car rather than someone to tell me that I'm a horrible person because of what people in the past have done. I'm a horrible person for the way I was born.
Yeah, exactly. But they try to like invent things like, oh, this is how you think. How do you know how I think? It's like you're racist, but you don't know you're racist. So I'm here to tell you how racist you are, for tens of thousands of dollars.
And just to be
There was one lady in here,
Yeah.
and like this is like I'll let you get to that, but it's the most damning evidence of the whole movie of how like terrible this is and how they don't actually really care, and it's literally just like a racket for money, is because with everyone they talk to, there's the fee that they charge, right?
Yeah.
There's one lady who her claim to fame is that she filmed a video of a Sesame Street character walking right past her black kids and without saying hi to them. And she made a big uproar like, oh, this is racist, like without knowing who's in the costume, what color they were, how much visibility they have, because they were looking up here but the kids were down here. Could they even see them? Didn't look into anything, that just went on to the news and started calling them racist. To sit down with her for what was eventually like 2 minutes of the whole movie, she charged them $50,000 for her to be there and talk to them
Yeah.
for 10 minutes about this.
That's ridiculous. It is horrendous. Like, again, if you would actually care and you would want to push this out there, you would just tell your story. Literally anyone who has ever had something happen to them, something horrible happen to them, and it changes them, and they want things to change about it, they will just go do interviews. Those places may pay them for their time on the show, but they will not ask for that amount of money.
And it's absurd amounts too. Like best part of the movie, he gets the queen of racism herself, Robin DiAngelo, who wrote the White Fragility book about like how white people are racist, and when they say I'm not racist, that's evidence of them being even more racist, and like that's what her book's about.
Yeah.
And he gets her on there, and then she charges, what was it? It was $20,000, I think. Oh, $15,000. Because they said, they said we can give you like $10,000 to $20,000. She's like, oh, let's meet somewhere in the middle and say 15. I'm like, okay, Your Grace, we'll do $15,000.
Yeah.
Only for them to bring out a black production agent,
Ben.
or assistant. I mean, Ben. And Matt's like, I will do reparations right here and right now and give you $30 from my own wallet. And then she was just like, that's weird. That's weird. Why would you do that? And it's like she doesn't even like comprehend the whole thing, because like that makes more sense than what she's saying.
Like
'cause
following
the
her
argument
own
for-
logic,
Yeah.
like because he literally says like, "Well, I'm not waiting for the system to do it. I'm just doing it." And she's
I'm
like,
being the active change myself
Why-
rather than just like
"Yeah,
waiting and protesting and demanding that the government from the top down do the reparations. Like I'm
Yeah.
taking action on my own accord. I'm
and
doing more
literally
than they
he
are."
doesn't ask
And then
her
she's
for
just
money.
like, "That's weird."
Like, 'cause-
No, he said, "Did you want to?" Knocked over my microphone.
but she's
No,
like,
he
"Do
asked.
you
He asked.
do you want money?" And she was like,
Do you want to do that? And then she's just like, "Oh, I didn't." And she hesitates at first, and he just explained like, "Oh, it's simple. Like I'm taking action where you
Yeah.
know the system is not." And then she's just like, "Let me go get my purse." And then she brings over and hands him $30 out of her purse, which I hope to God that somewhere at the Daily Wire they have that $30 like framed up on the wall.
That'd be amazing.
The CEO office. That would be fucking awesome if they have the $30 from Robin DiAngelo framed somewhere.
That'd be
like
really
Mr.
funny.
Krabs. That'd be awesome. But like in the best part, the little like money thing they have in the corner to show how much they paid them, it rolls back $30. So it's like 14,000 something.
And it's also even more telling about the fact that, like, because he did this all undercover. Like, that's what he did. And,
well,
like,
undercover.
well, like, there were people, like, he genuinely fooled people, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, he
But
definitely
like
genuinely
they
fooled people.
didn't know who he was beforehand.
Yeah,
or,
but then
like,
the
he
moment
had-
that he announced that he was making this, like, before, like, I think it's, like, what is it, like, the month before it came out or something like that?
It was like the day before it came out. It was like
Oh.
the week leading up to it.
Like, two different people that are in the movie that they interview deleted all of their
Pretty
social
much
media.
everyone.
Oh, everyone
It
did?
was Robin DiAngelo deleted. She said like this whole thing like, it was weird from the start. None of the PAs would look me in the eye. He came out. He only said his name was Matt. He was wearing a shitty wig. It all felt really
Yet
weird.
you
I'm
still
like,
stayed. You gave
still
Ben
stayed.
$30.
you took their money though.
Yeah.
You took their money though. You still took their money, and you still stayed for what they admitted was a 2-hour interview process. You still did that though. Even though you said it was weird and suspicious, you still stayed, you still took the money. Interesting. So she deleted her whole thing, which is great. There was one lady who was saying how like
Moana incident.
she scolds her 4-year-old daughter for liking white princesses like Frozen and Cinderella instead of like the black ones and the brown ones and all that. She likes Frozen and Tangled more than she likes Mulan, and she scorning her to her 4-year-old.
And then
And Matt poses the Moana problem here.
Yeah. The Moana problem where he's like, well, my daughter, she likes Moana, so you know they're good there. But like she wants to dress as Moana for Halloween, and it's like, well, that's kind of a cultural appropriation there. And they're like, so like
it's
I'm
racist
happy.
if you don't like Moana, but it's also racist if you like her too much.
Yeah.
You have to be somewhere in the middle. But then you're middleizing the races,
Yeah.
which is also
It was-
racist. And it's just like, shut up. Not
The
everything is
worst part-
racist,
the
okay?
thing-
You
the
have an
worst part
entire
about
life
this-
to live. You're crying about this.
The worst part about this movie,
it's not everywhere you look.
yeah. The worst part about this movie, or at least the reception that this movie is getting, isn't the fact that, like, it isn't the fact that people are just refusing to see it. It's the fact that people can't separate the fact that this is not a political statement. It's intrinsically political because
something that-
people make it political, but it is him
Exactly. It's been
exposing.
politicized.
It's been politicized, but it is not political. It is him exposing the fact that these people are charging people that they are, like it said right there, it is profit, not agenda. They're pushing the agenda, but they're doing it so that way they can make a profit. And like
Yeah.
it's
Like
not
he's not out here saying racism isn't real.
yeah.
He's saying it's not every single white person is racist and there's nothing you can do about that, but still give me money. Like they're saying, he's saying that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Because like growing up, race was nothing more than just a character trait.
Exactly.
Like what it was, skin color was no different from hair color or eye
Jerome
color.
was the
It's like,
black kid at
that's
school. Like that's who he
exactly.
was.
Exactly. Oh, well, who's your redhead friend? Oh, that's Jerry. Oh, who's your black friend? Oh, that's Tommy.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a descriptive factor. That's just what
Exactly.
people look different in different ways. If we all looked the same, there would be no way to tell each other apart. We had a whole fucking Fairly Odd Parents episode about this when they all were gray blobs. Looking the same is not, beneficial. Like that's why characters have different character traits or like physical
But
traits.
It's
just appearances. It's nothing. Like and you see that in the movie where like he goes to the biker bar where they have like Trump flags and like beer and all that.
they have
and a bunch of white
Confederate
dudes.
flags hung on the wall. Like
Yeah, and I'm sure that's more just because of like the whatever state they were in,
Yeah.
and like that's part of like the history or whatever. But like everyone there, like there was a guy who said like like it's colors only skin deep. Like we all bleed the same color. We're all the same color on the inside. And he goes to talk to a like a business owner, like a warehouse owner. I don't remember what his job was, but he had come here from like Haiti or like an African country, or he had immigrated to America and built his life there. And he said like, oh, this country's great. I have like 56 grandkids and like this and that. He's just like, I don't know why people say it's so racist. It's great here. And then he's just like, well, but we're different colors. And then the guy says like, if I cut you, you would bleed the same color as me. Like it just shows like they say the same thing. It's that simple.
What they're trying to do is
they're trying to invent the problem.
Yeah. They're trying
to
to
dig
make
it deeper
people believe
into
that
society for money.
they're trying to make basically what it is, they're trying to get it to a point where people believe that everything is motivated by race. And that's not true. That's not what it is.
That's where their headspace is at, and
we
they
are
want to make money off of it.
Fucking human beings. People say shit and do shit at the fucking drop of a hat, and it means nothing other than the fact that their brain just skipped a beat. You know how much shit I do in a day that I'm just like I was like, oh shit, I forgot to do this, or I didn't do that, or oh, I did this instead of that kind of thing. Like, or like your brain goes to grab a word and you just grab the wrong word or something like that. Like it just not like that. Not like that. Not like
all the times Isaac accidentally said the N-word. It's nothing. It's just nothing he's saying. That's what he means.
No, what I mean is
I meant to say I was trying to talk about my 5-cent coin. I didn't actually mean that. I was trying to have a conversation about the Japanese assassins. Okay, like I didn't mean that. My brain picked the wrong word. It's got nothing to do with Jerome. Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that they're trying to make it seem like every single act that everyone does is always intentional.
And not just intentional, but it's always rooted in racism.
Yeah, and it's not
and
real.
And if they honestly sincerely believed that, they would be like protesting it and like like sharing that freely rather than charging $50,000 to tell someone about that.
Exactly. Mo, you've been kind of quiet. Do you got anything for this movie?
I mean, you guys pretty much covered.
Oh, we forgot the joke.
We should
the majority of it.
We should talk about like the comedy aspects.
Yeah,
Like talk about the funny
joke.
bits because a comedy first and foremost. A
It really
mockumentary
is.
born
Well,
out
see, that's
style
the
they
funny
keep
thing
doing.
about it is it's not
But it's
like
funny. It's super funny.
it's so funny, but a lot of the comedy comes from the fact that he just sets up the dominoes and they knock it over. Like that's the best part.
It's
He
true.
just gets them
They dig
caught
their
in their
own
own
grave. It's just like you're so dumb, and they just say like the dumbest things.
the part where he's like, would you say that America is inherently racist? And she goes, no,
And she-
inherently is challenging there. I would say that America is racist to its bones. It is like, oh, like to the like
So
like, it's a
inherently,
given. So inherently, it's like, well,
like
it's
yeah,
like, yeah, she said
she
yeah,
goes, yeah, she goes, yeah.
and it's
It's, what?
or like the part at the end of the movie where he like, cause like at the beginning he's like, I want to start the journey, and like he's asking for all these books, and he finds one where it's just a book. It's just the N word with a hard R on it, and like he's like, well, that's a bit problematic to try and find over the phone. And at the end of the movie, he has a scene where he calls the bookstore to find that book, and he's like trying to do it, and they're literally saying like, oh, I don't know.
See,
Like we
what
need
book are you talking about?
you don't know what it is. Well, I know the title, but I can't say it. It's like, what do you? It's like
I don't think you can say it either.
it's a bit triggering. It's like, well, it actually rhymes with trigger, or the part where he's on the fucking news show, and he's like doing this like we're doing this exercise here where, and this is more for you than for you, he says to the white lady and the Asian lady. And it's just like,
More for you, less
this
for you.
is more for you, less for you. We're just stretching out of our whiteness. Like he's just making shit up, and they go along with it. The other joke, the one that we've been quoting constantly. I'll let one of you guys take that because it's so funny.
So Matt Walsh is sitting across from a guy who wrote a book called Hate Crime Hoax, about like how the most like famous and televised like hate crimes like didn't happen. And he was going off, was like, there's like millions of crimes every year. And he's like, and like hate crimes it's not as prevalent as the media wants you to think. There's about like 6,000 to 6,000 or 7,000 hate crimes, and like at that point Matt Walsh interrupts him and he goes, in a day.
In a day.
He just goes, in a day.
It's so funny.
Every minute. Every 2 seconds. All the time, everywhere,
Okay.
always. Racism.
It's
That's
so
in his like
funny.
DEI disguise. So he's like
It's-
trying to be just like racism is bad. Race.
It's
It's
so
no, like
funny.
he's trying to be the I'm DEI certified. I'm the expert on how evil white men are. And then he's just like, in a day. And the guy's just like, no, in a year.
Yeah,
It's not that problem.
It's
In a day.
In a day.
in a day.
So like anytime we like anytime we'll just like give us like, it's like, it's something about like I don't know, just like, well, it's like, I ate like a whole bag of Dorito in a day.
Like we
Like
just,
anytime that you give them like a quantity of something, we'll just say in a day.
not even that. Like we'll just sometimes just say it because it's just funny.
Because he just interrupts him with in a day, just trying to
In a
make
day.
it worse.
Like it's so good.
Like what would be like a different version of that? Like,
I don't know, but
I don't know. Oh,
it's just a lot of
Cut that.
fun.
it's funny. It's funny.
It's a really funny
it's,
movie.
It's just really funny because like no matter what side you're on, like if you have more than 2 brain cells, you should be able to understand that people who are just baiting this shit to get themselves tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars per person
Yeah.
for
No.
basically just telling them they're evil.
Yeah.
Like I made the joke. They had the 2 ladies who do the race to dinner where they charge white women
Yes.
they charge them thousands of dollars to have them over for dinner. They have to feed them while they call them racist the whole time.
Yes.
And I made the joke, I'd go up and just be like, why why would I need to pay you to call me racist? Why would I need that? For
Exactly.
you to tell me I'm racist. Why would I need that in my life? And they'd be like, well, it's because you are racist. And I'd just be like, ha, got it for free, bitch. And then run away.
it's
Got it
still
for free.
fun. It's still funny.
Got it for free. Got it for free.
But it's
And,
and
yeah,
like
but
here's
a lot
my
of people.
well,
Go ahead.
my thing is that it really shows the fact that they just want to tell you you're bad. They don't want to have a conversation. That's something that we've lost.
Exactly.
The ability to do is that you can't just have a conversation about something. It has to be either an argument or a debate, or it's just one side and it's like, nope, no matter what you say, you're wrong. Like, because you can disagree on something. Everyone on this planet can disagree with something. You can still have an honest talk with them. Like, I don't want to just yell at people I disagree with. Like, and say, no, you're just wrong. Like, I would like to just talk with you about it. Like, if I'm actually wanting to understand, like, I will talk to you. I would like to talk to you about it. And when you talk to someone that you would disagree with, it does one of two things. It either tells you something, like they do something and it strengthens your argument, or they give you something in a new light. They make you see something in a different way. You're like, oh crap, well, I didn't think of it that way, kind of thing. And like, oh, and it changes your opinion. Like, and that's okay too.
Right.
Like, it's okay for it to strengthen your argument, and it's okay to change your mind. But like, just blatantly being told that no matter what you do, that you're wrong no matter what, is not. It's not a conversation. It's you just ignoring reality.
Right. Like I would love to convince Isaac that The Watchers was fucking horrible, but he's free to like that movie and continue to enjoy it, and he's free to like make his own arguments to defend it. And if he likes it, that's fine. That's his opinion. I hate it. I thought it was a terrible film.
Yeah. Like
And
I said, the more
we've had discussions about it further off camera, like of defense and offense, but it's fine.
We're
allowed to
even on the
disagree.
podcast when I was telling you that I liked it, and you were pointing out the things that you didn't like about it. It's like, but me saying that, like I like your things were like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see how you didn't like it in that way, but it's not going to change my enjoyment. But I understand what you're saying now, and you even were,
Exactly.
and to my other point is that no, because you brought up my points, and it's like, no, that doesn't make sense because this happened and all that is like, and it just strengthened your argument. Like
We're getting a little off track here.
Yeah, we are, but like it's just a fun movie, and I feel like people should see it because it really does shine the light on a lot of stuff.
All right. Now, being a documentary, it's going to be a bit difficult to rank this because it is lacking. Because comparing it to other movies, it is lacking in acting, it's lacking in writing, it's lacking in cinematography, storyline, because it's just real stuff. There's no script for the most part. I mean, like, there's narration and like scripted parts, but like there's no like written plot, there's no like screen writing, there's like none of the story, movie, fiction, nonfiction stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's different intrinsically because it's a documentary, so it's going to be affected in how we rank it. But I'm going to give it a pretty hearty 8 out of 10. It's really funny. I really enjoyed it. Like, I've never heard a theater laugh that fucking hard at a film before. Like that just like boastedly, just people were exploding with laughing. Like, and it felt like
a whole theater
like
laughing.
Yeah. Like people were
and
like,
we've been to Marvel movies.
Thank you, Meg. But people weren't just like laughing and like stifling, because you got to be quiet in the movie theater. People were just like unafraid to laugh as loud as they could, just naturally. Isaac.
I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10 as well. Like my thought process, like I graded it on the same stuff I normally do, where it's like my enjoyment of a movie is very much a big factor in how I rank movies. But also, you know, how well it's put together, and like it was shot well, like it was edited together very well and things like that. And then but since it's a documentary, the other thing that I graded on was the information it's trying to get across. Like, was the information conveyed correctly? Like, was it done right? And I feel like it was. Like, it was very well put together, and it was, while people will say like that it's biased because of the already standing that Matt Walsh has and the way that the stuff that he already talks about, it's not.
Yeah.
It really isn't. Like, it's just straight up saying this.
Yeah, for the most part, it's just people letting them talk themselves into a pit, and then he just asks a question that would be natural follow-up, and then they can't answer it.
Exactly.
Because they already dug themselves into a pit. Merrick.
Yes, I am going to give this an 8 out of 10. This is it's funny. I think this is the only documentary I've seen more than once.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Interesting.
a good barometer for it as well, because it's like you already know the information it's going to give you, but it's entertaining enough where you can watch it again.
Yeah.
All right. Fair statements, I think, all around. Isaac, our next batch of movies, which we already know because we've already seen them. We just need to record them yet.
Yes.
Would you like to let people know what the next episode will consist of here?
The next episode will consist of a new Mel Gibson movie, Monster Summer, the new Joker movie, Joker 2, and I believe Terrifier 3, and I think that's all we have for that. Long awaited on this channel, Terrifier 3. Really excited for it. Already got the poster for it right here. Don't know if that's going to show in shot, but it's really excited to record that one.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe because it keeps us going back to the theaters and keeps us making these videos for you. Check out our Letterboxd respectively. It'll be hovering over our heads as we speak. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap.
No credits.